But you'll never guess what I did additionally. I broke that. That's the fuel pump inlet nipple. And now I have to see what I can do to fix it. Well, I have this 3/16 drill bit that I kind of hand reamed through here, and I stuck it together and super glued it. And now I am straightening out a piece of brake line that's 3/16. Take 4 or 5 or something on this broken fuel pump inlet. I'm kind of kicking myself for just pulling on that kind of shrunken plasticized rubber hose. But I have this brake line. It's 3/16 brake line that I have kind of whittled away at. I've drilled into both of these pieces and I've got it to the point where it can sleeve all the way through. Now I do believe that I'm going to give this area a good supply of super glue and let it set up. It's pretty much press fit in here, but this joint just doesn't seem to want to give me any beneficial grip. I don't really understand what happened, but I grabbed some of this purple primer and it's actually green, but I gave this whole area a coat of that purple primer to kind of try to soften up that plastic. I'd really like this to work. All right, I have enough super glue. I believe this will hold together. I'm going to just twist it up in there. Now I'll let that set up. See what happens. Now that the glue is dried, I grabbed a file and wore that down a little bit. So now I can kind of build it back up uniformly with the super glue. One more thing that I wanted to kind of give myself the reassurance of saying so is the other day I was searching for parts for this project and came across a stock GT14 intake. And if you are not aware of a GT14, it is a single cylinder Kohler 14 horsepower. And it has a very unique intake compared to the rest of the wheel horse lineup. So this is the stock GT14 intake, and it relocates the air cleaner to the left side of the tractor. Now, look how much that is choked down. This casting is probably smaller outside circumference than the inside of the tubing that I put together for that 16 twin. Now the difference is we're running 14 horsepowers at a time, where that twin is running 8 horsepower on one side and then 8 horsepower on the other. So I have twice as much volume at least as a single 14 to run a twin 16. That just reassures me that I will have no issues with actually getting this thing to breathe. So now I have a little bit of gas in the tank. I have cables hooked up. I have repaired this fuel pump and hopefully I put it back together correctly. So instead of giving this some bottle fed gas, I'm gonna just try to close the choke, hit that starter, see if it'll make any coughs. I so badly want to cover the intake with my hand, but I want to make sure this fuel pump's actually working before I do that. I'm just gonna keep trying. I do see fuel in the filter. I see fuel move and then kind of just stay moved, but I don't see a pump. I'm gonna do this just because I want to. All right, I made noise. I also see a spring disconnected down here, and I see a little bit of fuel squirting out, but I don't know where from. I'm kind of thinking it might be dumping into the vacuum line. So instead of just keeping it cranking, I'm gonna just say I made noise today, and we'll improve upon that. I looked in the engine manual and found that a few pieces are missing from inside this fuel pump because of the fact that I can get an entire carburetor fuel pump assembly on Amazon for $43 delivered. I'm going to just try that route. If I need to steal parts from one carburetor to make the other one run right, I'll do that. But given that this is backfiring and making all kinds of noise that shouldn't happen, I just want to start fresh with something that will hopefully work for our benefit. I got the seat all put together with the new padding and the new vinyl, and it's looking really good. Thanks for watching.